Hello and welcome to the Blackout Podcast, where I get to talk to amazing people who do amazing things. And today I have the Executive Director of ANSMA, the African Nova Scotia Music Association, Julien Matwawana. Thanks so much for coming to the studio today.
Happy to be here, man. I'm glad we finally get to make it happen.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's been great working with you, right, from the Music Nova Scotia board. And I remember when you were like, there was some plans happening for ANSMA in the works. I was like, what could ANSMA possibly be doing? So like, why do you think it was, I guess, or like as an organization as a whole, that it was the right time now to get an ED for ANSMA?
Well, ANSMA has been around for 25, 30 years now, doing incredible things in the community on very little resources with, 2 part-time staff and a working board. Most of the people working on everything in the last 2 decades has been volunteer for the most part, right? And we have been at the forefront of giving artists and people who are aspiring to be musicians in the African Nova Scotian community and Black community opportunities. Like we've put many people on stages, that weren't getting on stages before, such as in other organizations. Now we're starting to see a lot more of that. But when ANSMA was first brought together, there wasn't much opportunity for African Nova Scotians on the other award shows and the other stages that were being presented here in the province. So a few people in the community came together to make sure that our artists were also highlighted throughout the year. And it's, with the long work of Mr. Lou Gannon, the former president of African Nova Scotia Music Association, he kind of put the wheels in motion, along with a reference group of industry professionals and community people and board members to craft together a strategic plan compiled from data that was collected from the community and the artists in the community, and also just asking them what they want from an organization like ANSMA. And that work was culminated in like 2.5 years was put together, right? And I was on the reference group, collecting the information and just talking to people in the community and giving our opinions. And a strategic plan came out of it, right? So this is the first time that organizations had a strategic plan, like a long-term vision. So our strategic plan is 2022 to 2025, and it comes with a few different things that we collected in terms of information from the community that they want from our organization. So I think it was the perfect time to answer your question, because we did the deep work to get the information, even after we've been around doing things a certain way, and because we really want to be of service to the community and give them what they need, and also provide resources that they may not know that they need. Right. So it comes through now very organized and structured versus us just doing things reactively. Now we're doing things proactively, and we know what the vision is moving forward for the next 5 years at least. And in order to achieve our mission and our vision, which is to put African Nova Scotian music on the world stage, a executive director and a team, full-time staff for the first time is a necessity. We need people who are operating day to day to make that vision a reality. And when the strategic plan was put together and detailing out our vision and the people we need, the positions we need to make that happen, the province of Nova Scotia was happy to get on board. CCTH more particularly to help us out and allow us to hire the first ever full-time staff which has begun with myself as the executive director. And we just now hired a program lead, Caleb Borden, who is well known through Pineapple Express Media in the music community and in the industry here. So we're slowly but surely building our team and revamping things that have been around, and also adding regular programming. We're not rushing it, but we feel as though there's some low-hanging fruit that we can attack right away. To name a couple is like the rebranding, and also starting to explore our own space. Maybe a new headquarters for ANSMA. But everybody's gonna have to stay tuned and watch it all unfold. But yeah, there's some exciting things coming up for the organization, and it's like we've been around for the better part of 2 decades, but it seems like we're just getting started.
Right. Talking about that, just in the last couple of weeks, it's just been these programs coming out of ANSMA. Like, is that part of this vision, and how much work is it for you to have been doing this before you even have now a program lead? Because I saw there's 3 different programs coming out.
So there's 2 programs currently that have officially been launched. So it's the Fry Up, which is our youth program that happens every Sunday at the McPhee Center from 12 to 2 p.m. And that is funded by the ABSW, Association of Black Social Workers, who've been a longtime partner of ANSMA. They've helped us on our workshops, It's Deeper Than Music, and also other collaborations we've done with them. So this is just, the latest one. And this is something that's been going on all summer, started July, and it's going to go into September. So it's really just a bit of a watered down music development program. So it's really caters to whoever shows up. So if you're, a kid and you play saxophone, we'll tailor it to help you learn things about the saxophone, to help you develop things to bring home and help you continue to cultivate your skills on that respective instrument. If you're a vocalist, then we tailor it to vocal teaching and giving you a little bit of background and history about the type of vocal teaching we're introducing you to, and so on and so forth. And we also have, kind of tied to the Fry Up, which is the town hall. That's we're hoping to make it a monthly, and then later down the road make it more weekly. It's really it's a creative gathering, and it doubles as an open mic as well. I'm a big believer of music development, and whether you're a musician, an artist, or industry professional, it's super important to make sure that you're cultivating your skills and learning and developing as an individual, so that you can continue to get better. If you're an artist, you don't want the quality of your music to be the same as it was last year.
Right.
You want to always bring a new feel, bring what you've learned, show your vocal, the development of your voice, and see what you've been working on in terms of songwriting ideas and so on and so forth, right? You should always be teachable. You should always be looking to better yourself every time, and it's just an individual thing. It's not really a competition thing. It's you have to have the pride and motivation to continue to get better and give your following a better product every time you release or every time you perform. So our focus is on that. And the thing about development that a lot of people don't like is that sometimes you have to go ghost.
Right.
Sometimes you can't be all in the camera, all on stage every single weekend, devaluing yourself. Like, you have to hang it up for a little bit, work on your songwriting, work on your vocal techniques. Make sure that you're not pitchy. Make sure that you have good breath control, and make sure that you're working with more experienced songwriters and more experienced music directors and professional musicians, so that every time you perform, which shouldn't be 15 times in the same city a year, if you're trying to make a professional career out of it, you should be performing, at most 3-4 times, if that. And every time you perform, you should be able to demand a crowd because they expect you to bring something, high quality, right? They expect you to, bring that heat, bring that entertainment. It's the entertainment business at the end of the day. If you want to do it on the weekend and just like work a 9 to 5, that's cool too. But you need to understand who you are. You need to understand what your vision is. Some people want to do this full time and for life. And those are the people who I'm talking about. You need to continuously develop. Even the people who want to do it part time, you should still have the mentality that you want to get better every time you come out. And because you never know what it could turn into. But if you're not putting your best foot forward, then it's going to be very hard to, tour and make it out of your city, right? But when you come back to your city, which should be like 2-3 times, people should be like, oh yeah, I want to see that person. Like I'd pay to see that person because I know they're always going to entertain. I know that they're always going to elevate their live performance, whether they dropped a song on DSBs. They know that song is going to sound even better live, right? So you have to do the work behind the scenes to make sure that when you are on stage, that people are impressed, because that's ultimately how you're going to put food on the table.
How do you get those artists? I mean, artists always want to be in front, so how do you get, especially young artists, to get comfortable with not being front and center
It's very difficult, man, because we live in a time of it's literally impossible to delay gratification, right? You have everything at your fingertips. You see 12-year-olds making $1 million a week, driving all these crazy cars and having all this material success and seeing your friends performing on stage. But it's like, do you want to perform 15 times for $300, or do you want to perform 3 times for $2,000 a show or $3,000 a show? And every time you come out, you can continue to raise your price because, like I said, people are going to know you're going to put on a show. You know what I mean? Like you can put bums in seats, but a lot of artists aren't thinking of it that way. They're thinking of the quantity over quality. Like they want to be active, but it's actually better to not be so out there because it's like, why are the Red October Yeezys $20,000 to buy? Because you can't find them. You know what I mean? It's rare. You have to, but when you get them, it's like, you're the talk of the town. Like so you have to think of it as scarcity. Scarcity brings value, right? We're in inflation right now. There's not as much stuff. That's why stuff's more expensive. So you have to think of the same thing as your branding, right? Like when you get it, it's like, yeah, damn, I'd pay money for that.
Right.
So, but people have to know, but it takes work behind the scenes to get to that point where people will want to pay money for you. It's not really, you have to delay gratification. You have to do the work behind the scenes and develop yourself. Work with people who are more experienced than you, who have accolades, who are where you want to be. So that's really the mentality we're trying to get through here moving forward at ANSMA. It's just like, it's okay, man. It's okay to take a step back and really figure out what you want to put out there, what you want to give to your following. Figure out who you are. Like a lot of times people get on stage and they're just performing and they sound like their favorite artist. They're not even giving anything special to the game. But when you go back and do that deep work, then you actually can ignore the distractions. I call it shiny object syndrome.
Right.
You can ignore the distractions and figure out, who are you? What do you bring to the game?
Yeah.
What makes you special? People in Nova Scotia, it's very easy to tell when you're from Nova Scotia. And I want more people to bring that through into their music. People love Toronto now. Of course, Drake, he's one of the biggest stars, but they love the Toronto slang. They love the Toronto culture because people are actually putting it on Front Street. But for a long time, people from Toronto rapping, which is my opinion why like a lot of them didn't make it big, is because like they weren't really, they were trying to sound like someone from down the States, from New York. And I think people try and think bringing something new is bringing in new music, where it's like, no, it's bringing a new story. People don't hear about Nova Scotia. People don't know. They think we're fishing here. They think that's all we do, but we need to show different walks of life and everybody's an individual. Like, I think people are very complex, and it's like, you're very different than I am, but if you're trying to be like me, then you're doing the world a disservice. So I just want artists to look at it that way and be like, okay, let me get rid of all the distractions, let me quiet my mind and figure out, okay, without anybody influencing me, what do I like? Like, who am I? And then let that come through your music. And then that'll help you with your songwriting, that'll help you with how you want to present yourself, without having the influences of the world change who you are. Of course, there's going to be a little bit of nuances from different things that that's just your preference. But it's it's difficult because it's so hard to not get distracted and stay focused.
That's what I'm gonna say. Like, not just, it's a lot of work.
I feel like it's only a lot of work when you're watching other people.
Right.
I mean?
Guess it's about finding the right artist that is ready for what ANSMA has to offer.
Yeah, and it's like, whether you get it through ANSMA or get it by yourself, I still feel like everybody should take this route, because it's like, you haven't sold any records, and Beyonce has sold a bunch of records, but I bet you she's taking vocal lessons right now. You know what I mean? And she's already accomplished everything that we could possibly want to accomplish in the music game.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they say about athletes, like Michael Jordan. When he played, he was practicing when people were sleeping. That's the mentality you have to take. Yeah, you don't have to be as obsessive about things like Michael Jordan or these other musicians like Michael Jackson, but you should be doing a little bit of work every day to make sure you're getting better. You don't really have to work hard, you just have to be consistent.
Yes.
Right? And I think that's why people think it's hard work, because a lot of times people will try and do like 20 hours a day, and then they won't do anything for a week.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and they just like, oh, I'm doing something, I'm working hard. It's like, no, you're just burning yourself out. It's like, be consistent. Don't, like, because that's more sustainable. Like, do one push-up a day, and your body's going to change. If you try and do like 50 push-ups every once a week or something like that, it's not going to come through the same way. You know, it's like I always say, it's like, don't have exercising goals, just try and become a person that exercises. You know what I mean? It's like, instead of trying to get your six-pack abs, it's like, just become someone that exercises, and it's going to happen inevitably.
Yeah.
You know
I'm the person that does this versus I have to go and do this.
Exactly, right? And it just becomes habitual, becomes a part of you, versus, once I reach that goal, then like I'm not gonna exercise anymore. Like, it just doesn't. It's a backwards way that people look at things.
Yeah, no, that's
so. And they need to think the same way about development. It's just like, just do a little bit of work every day.
Wow. And so, I mean, you put all these things in place. You're building the team now. I'm like an artist, like, and I want to connect with ANSMA. How do I do that?
So we're actually going through a complete rebrand, which, it will be announced fairly soon. We're going to be bringing in like a new logo, a new and improved website. We're going to incorporate a newsletter into it's probably going to be monthly, something like that. And we're also going to kind of revamp the look of our social media platforms. Before, you could reach us, of course, at the info@ansma.ca, but there's going to be different ways to reach us moving forward. You can either go to the website. We're actually going to have a artist directory.
Oh, nice.
So you can put your EPK on there, and you can also put your links to all your different landing pages and DSPs on there. So it would just kind of be like a resume for you, another place for people to come find what's going on in the African Nova Scotian and Black community in terms of music. It's not just going to be artists. It's going to be artists, musicians, industry professionals. You can find graphic designers on there. Like, it's just going to allow people in this space to have a one-stop shop to actually find who they're looking for to build their business, right? So, of course, you can reach out to me. I'm on social media. I'm just Matwawana Julien on Instagram, and I'm happy to talk to anybody and direct you in the right way. You can reach Kayla at Rising Queen I'm Rising with a Z. But like we're around, right? We're accessible. And don't ever hesitate to reach out to us on social media. Reach out to us at emails. Our emails are super easy. Julien with an E, Julien at ANSMA.ca, and Kayla, Kayla at ANSMA.ca. Just send us an email or hit us up on social media. Like we're not hard to find, and we're actually going to be operating in the music industry. So we're going to be out at concerts. We're going to be supporting artists at their own concerts, not just ANSMA concerts. You know, we're going to be at Music Week. We're going to be at ECMAs. The Junos is coming next year in March, and you know, I'm on the host committee, and Kayla's on one of the subcommittees. So we're going to be around helping and being of service. So don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're not hard to find.
Right.
I would hope people don't say I'm hard to find.
Is there like a process to join ANSMA if the person is not a member?
So at the moment, the best way to do it is to just, like I said, reach out to any one of those places to reach us. Like info@ansma.ca is the easiest. You can just inquire about anything there. But reach out to me. It's $35 for a 2-year membership, and there's crazy benefits that go with that, which those will also be announced very soon.
Nice.
But you know, to give you access to our programs, to performing opportunities. You know, you get access to our directory and all the resources that we have. So there's those will be announced soon, along with our rebranding essentially. So that's part of our strategic plan going forward, is just giving ANSMA a newer, modern look, and we're going to be making sure that we're providing resources for music industry professionals, artists, and musicians.
That is the one for me. Like, I've been in, Halifax, Nova Scotia for a couple of years now, and we're like spoils for talent, like super talented people here.
Yeah.
But one thing that I think is kind of lacking is like management,
Well, the whole like infrastructure in general, as a whole, man. Like, this is why, like, I come from playing drums, filling in for my dad's band. My dad had a band called Afro Musica, and my dad's actually one of the founding members of ANSMA as well. And so I just grew up in music. I wanted to be a musician. I wanted to be an artist, and I still am. I still do songwriting. I wrote with my brother a bunch, who is a member of Casual Cries for Help, which is a band. And I was a rapper as well. Like, some people know me from rap. Some people know me from playing drums. Some people know me as the industry professional behind the scenes, putting on events. But I felt I felt that the void was behind the scenes, and the infrastructure, the actual industry side of things here in Nova Scotia versus the talent. Like you said, we have a variety of talent, in terms of musicians and vocalists and, rappers, whatever, in all genres. But if there's no infrastructure for them to display their talent, then it's going to be very difficult for them. And what we've seen historically is people leaving, right? So our people who we claim are often going away to make it big. I feel as though it's not unique to Nova Scotia. It's very unique to Canada. Right, the Canadian music industry, we don't really show you love until you've made it big somewhere else.
And they're like, hello.
And they're just like, oh, come back. And all of a sudden they cost an arm and a leg to book. And, they're not doing us favors like they should be doing for their hometowns, because we didn't show them love coming up. So now they're seeing us, and we're just someone. We're not anyone special. So we need to start cultivating our artists, but people behind the scenes as well, like our DJs, our producers, our managers, our booking agents, and our promoters. Like, we need to celebrate everybody from the beginning, give them opportunity, make it a bit easier for them to get to where they want to get to. Like, my goal for ANSMA is really just to provide that bridge between the music community and the music industry. Like, I don't want people to be always coming back to ANSMA being like, oh, I need a payday. I need a payday this. It's like, no, I want us to give you something to put on your resume, put on your EPK, put on your, your music one pager, so that you can go do your job for other organizations or other companies. I want you to be able to help yourself by when you come through ANSMA. We want to give you the tools so that you can make a business. We want to support the businesses that already exist and assist in creating more. You look at the hockey infrastructure. It's like we're sending kids to the NHL every year. Like we don't need to reinvent the wheel. We just need to actually have a wheel. We just need to just figure out, okay, what works, what gets you to that place where you're on par with people who are doing big things in the industry, and we need to keep funneling people through there. I feel like everybody's trying to innovate where we don't need to innovate. Innovation is always good, but a little bit of tradition with innovation will go a long way, right? And we also need to swallow our pride and ask for help and collaborate, because you see a lot of artists, you see a lot of industry professionals doing things by themselves. And I've been someone guilty of doing that.
But, I mean, sometimes you feel like the organizations or the associations aren't doing the things, so I'll just carry the reins and do it for myself or do it for my people.
Yeah.
But I guess now with, your team and what is happening at ANSMA and these things you have in the pipeline to announce, it might give people that might be willing to do that work.
Yeah.
The will that you talk about too.
Well, you have to collaborate. It's super important for all the organizations who operate in just the arts industry. We need to all be talking to each other. Whoever the executive director is at every organization, you should be in contact. The lines of communication should be open, because, too many times have I seen one organization doing the exact same program as this other organization in the same city. And Halifax is not a big city. You know what I mean? It's just why are we mimicking each other when if we both work together, we could scale our efforts, we could engage more people. It's like we're non-for-profits, so we should be being of service and figuring out, okay, that didn't work. Let's debrief and let's figure out what did work and then do that, right? There should be a lot of pilots. There should be a lot of experimentation. We should be doing impactful work instead of busy work or performatism. It's not about looking good. It's about actually getting people that we're serving to that next level, right? It's not about us looking good. It's about the people that we're serving looking good. It's about our membership looking good. It's about people being like, oh, ANSMA gave me this opportunity and it allowed me to get this job and it really allowed me to pick myself up by the bootstraps and keep going with it, right? It's not about, oh, every time I need a job, I go holla at ANSMA. It's like, nah, man, we're a non-for-profit. We don't have a lot of money, but we can facilitate opportunity so that you can then have experience that you didn't have before.
Wow.
All right.
Talking of ANSMA, one of the big announcements, you actually did this on Instagram with Kayla the other day, the ANSMA Awards. Do you want to share a bit more about that?
So ANSMA Awards, we're actually going into our 25th year for the awards. We had to postpone it because there were some transitional things going on in the organization, as we alluded to earlier. The incomparable Mr. Lou Gannon retired as the president of the board, and then I came in as the executive director. So during that transition, it didn't make sense to just try and piggyback on what was going on. So we just postponed, make sure that we had our ducks in a row, and now we can kind of start things up again. This is going to be our first award show, October 5th at the Lighthouse Arts Center. It's going to be our first non-virtual award show.
Oh my God!
In 2 years.
Yeah.
Right. So we did one thing by changing it to the Lighthouse. It's usually at Alderney. It was at Alderney previous years. So we're changing. We just want to give it a bit of a new feel, bring it closer, bring it more central downtown, allow our membership, which is constant, the young membership, a lot of them are downtown and in Halifax and the North End. So we just want to give it a bit different of a feel. This is this year. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. But, the Lighthouse it's a new venue, it's new equipment, so we just want to utilize that center because it's there for us. And tickets are on sale. You can go on Eventbrite for 2023 ANSMA Awards, and purchase your tickets. You can purchase tickets, you can purchase a table for your organization or for your group. We want to see everybody there. We've got a ANSMA mixer and / after party in the foyer of the Lighthouse Arts Center,
Nice.
featuring R.S. Smooth. He's going to be on the ones and
The
twos,
man, yeah.
providing the vibe. You know, long time. We've done a lot of work with R.S. Smooth, with ANSMA. He's been a member for a long time, and he's helped us out over the years. So we want to make sure that we keep that as a constant. Love R.S. Smooth, pillar in our music community and industry here. You know, he's done a lot for us, so we want to make sure that he's a part of this. You know, this historical year for ANSMA, where, you know, we got full-time staff for the first time in its history, where we're celebrating 25 years, you know,
Stunning.
and we're celebrating a rebranding of the organization's kind of outward look. So, you know, a lot of great things in store. Stay tuned for the nominees and the artist announcements for the award show. And I just really want it to be a vibe. Like, I want it to be a party. Like, I don't want it to be too grandiose. Like, I just want it to be straight to the point. We're going to celebrate the artists who are active. We're going to pay homage to the trailblazers and the people that got us here in the last 25 years.
Wow.
And then we're going to celebrate Black excellence in the community, man. And then we're going to party afterwards. And then we're going to go off to Thanksgiving long weekend. Celebrate some more with our families, right? So I really want it to be a very positive vibe. I want to have people feeling good about themselves going into the long weekend.
I love that plan. And I think the other thing I love that is in, you know, October and not usually, because it's usually like in winter.
It's usually dead of winter, and you know, it's been there for a long time. Like, it went from January to February, and then it went to early March, and it was still kind of dead winter. You know, we always feared for weather. And I just wanted to move it to a time that is hopefully going to be warmer. You know, I'm hoping, since we got all the rain in the summer, the fall's going to be really nice and hot. And, you know, fall's a beautiful time in Nova Scotia. We get all 4 seasons, and fall's my favorite. So I'm hoping that, you know, people who come to the award show and stay for the after party, I'm hoping that it's nice and warm, and we can network and spend time with each other afterwards. You know, have some libations, have some drinks, some refreshments,
right,
and network, and hopefully collaboration opportunities come out of it based on the people who are in the room, right? So fall, you know, it's a change, and it provides different obstacles for us, but I'm hoping that in the end that it all comes together, and I know it's going to be a great time, no matter what happens. And I hope to see everyone there on October 5th. Get your tickets now.
Yeah,
Eventbrite.
get your tickets.
You can also come to the office too.